Tuesday, and now at the same time I'm watching all these shows happen. Cut to Tuesday, where we went over the kids show again, and we went over the Broadway opener, and then Tuesday night we were in Nassau, so of course we went out in Nassau for a restaurant. We took Ward to dinner to send him on the way. We still haven't gotten to the big show. So Wednesday we get to the big show, the Country Jamboree. Country Jamboree was set up like this. It was classic country, contemporary country, gospel folk, and Americana. That was the range, and that's the order that it went in. We sang such hits as All My Rowdy Friends Are Coming Over Tonight, and The Rose, and other idiot-proof songs. So we got to that show, and I was kind of, again, blazing through the material, doing really well, sight reading. We got to the big finale, which was the Americana finale, and it was Proud to Be an American by Lee Greenwood. And so we started singing it, and it was the big tenor song at the end of the show. We started singing it, and right away I was like, wow, this is really high. This is really high. And at 22, I think the top of my range was like a G, you know, which is like a baritone these days. So, I mean, I wasn't even, like, didn't even qualify as a tenor. So we're singing, and we're singing it through, and we get to these really high notes, the chorus. And so I'm falsettoing everything. I'm kind of just like floating everything and thinking, okay, I have to talk to them about this. So we get to the end of it, and I turned to Natalie and I said, you know, Natalie, this is really high. Like, I can't do this. It's impossible for me to do this, you know, every week. She was like, don't worry about it. We'll talk to the band. They can bring it down a key. They can bring it down a third, you know. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Down a third would be perfect. That's great. So we kind of leave that, and I see the show on Wednesday night, and Ward sings it, and it's up in the rafters, and I'm thinking, okay, well, at least it'll be down a third when I do it. So then Thursday comes along, Friday comes along, we keep running these songs, and every time we get to be Proud to Be an American, I falsetto everything. And side note, as like a male singer, it's also easy to sing on an ooh vowel. So I change everything to an ooh just because I'm like, well, I'll belt it when it comes time, and no big deal. So I'm oohing and I'm falsettoing the whole time, and no one's really even looking at me sideways. So we get to Friday, Ward leaves, he's gone. Friday night, I do my big Broadway opener, and smash hit. I sang You'll Come In like nobody's business. And then Saturday morning, I wake up and we go through the other shows. Cut to Saturday afternoon, where we get to the orchestra, the band orchestra. It was like a guitar and a percussion. It was like the band, the cruise line band. So we get to the rehearsal with them, and we run the whole show, and again we get to Proud to Be an American, and we got to, I again falsettoed and oohed, and no one looked at me differently. They were, you know, kind of just did their show. And at the end of it, I went to the band director with Natalie, my friend, the vocal captain, and she said, you know, Frank, it's really high for Kevin, so if we could bring it down a third, that would be great. And I was like, yeah, it's really high. I mean, I can sing like, I could maybe like do a G and A flat, but these are like B's and C's, and I can't sing that. So he was like, he looked at us blankly. He was like, oh no, that's on track. That's a track. We just kind of fake play during that song. I was like, you fake play? He's like, yeah. I was like, but I hear percussion. He's like, well, percussion is live. But like the sweetener track, there's a click in their ear. This is all new to me. But I started to wet myself. I started to panic. Sheer panic set in over my face. I probably looked, I think I started too, I'm not sure. But really, I said, well, there was no possible way. And then the cast started going around me, and they were like, oh, you can do it, Kevin, you can do it. We know you can do it. You've got the notes, you've been singing them. And I was like, but I've been singing them like a lady. Like, I mean, I'm not singing these normal notes like as a man. Like, I'm singing them as some kind of weird countertenor bullshit. So they said, well, you can do it tonight. Tonight. It was that night. It was that night. So it's the day of the show, y'all. Saturday night. And there's a cast picture. There we are. Side note, that goatee that I have on is completely painted on with mascara. Because they told me I looked like I had too much of a baby face and I didn't look like I belonged. So I painted on the goatee, and after every show when I signed autographs, and hugged the ladies in the white gowns, there'd be this perfect imprint of a goatee on their right shoulder. It's like my trademark right there on the shoulder. Anyways, so it's Saturday night, and we're going through the whole show, and I have to remember the entire show, so I'm forgetting about the end of the show. I kind of forget about it because I'm singing all this other stuff, and I'm doing so well, and really blowing their socks off on the Big Red Boat. And we get to the end, and right before Proud to Be an American was the seminal classic hit, Love in Any Language. Anyone? Up with people. So of course, Love in Any Language, fluently spoken here. You're welcome. Love in Any Language had a dancer, one of the female dancers downstage right, doing her, as I like to call it, her competition lyrical. I mean, it was all like, nothing that belonged in the show. Asked me about when we hit a hurricane and she had to do that competition lyrical. She looked a mess. But then downstage left, we had the other female dancer who, of course, was doing, anyone? So, of course, sign language. With all the passion of someone who had only learned those words in sign language could. So they're performing, and I'm upstage singing with the girl. You're getting it full out. I'm upstage singing with the girl. Now I had to walk downstage from up here. She's down there, she's down there. I had to walk downstage, cut downstage, and hold her hands because the lyrics are something, something, and my wife. So I had to hold on to her like she was my wife. And she was looking at me. I'm sure the audience thought she was looking at me like I was some like vet home from war, and she was like looking at me with all this passion, but really she was thinking, oh my fucking God, I hope he hits these notes because we could be in trouble. So we sing, this is how it goes on Saturday night. Love in any language, fluently spoken here. If tomorrow all the things were broken, I worked for all my life. And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today. I can't. And she's like this. Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where I'm free. And I won't forget the you do, who gave that right to me. And I proudly to you, and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this world. God bless the U.S. This was her look. But I committed. After that, the baritone switched verses with me. And he had a higher voice than I did, so I sang the rest of the song as a baritone, thank God. My name is Kevin Duda, and I'm proud